Well, a very good evening and thank you for joining us on India Business Hour. I'm Ashmit Kumar and here are the headlines that we're tracking at this hour. Union government eyes amending the law to prevent Delhi High Court from seizing Delhi Metro's assets in the 4,700 crore arbitral dispute with Reliance Infra. Government says attaching assets will entail closure of Delhi Metro and it cannot allow such a lethal situation in Delhi being the custodian of public good. Over 70 companies face the heat for allegedly manufacturing spurious or low-quality medicines. Health Ministry sources say that manufacturing licenses of 18 companies have been cancelled. Show-cause notices issued to many others. The move comes after allegations of made-in-India cough syrups being linked to the deaths of children in Gambia and Uzbekistan. A parliamentary panel on online pharmacies pulls up the government, says it is appalled that stricter rules have not been notified by the Health Ministry, warns that illegal, counterfeit or outdated medicines could be sold through these avenues in the absence of regulations. High commissions of insurance agents set to continue, but companies get more flexibility to pay them as per board-approved policies. Insurance regulator also rules that companies must adhere to the expenses of management ceiling from the 1st of April. Employee Provident Fund Organization announces a minor 5 basis point interest rate hike to more than 6 crore active subscribers. This is the first rate hike since FY19, when the EPF rate was cut to its lowest level in more than 4 decades. The US commodity regulator files a lawsuit against the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance, and its founder, CZ, alleges violations of compliance rules to attract users, also accuses the exchange of flouting rules meant to prevent money laundering and terror financing. 3 elementary school children and 3 school staff shot dead after yet another shooting incident in the United States. The 28-year-old shooter was also killed by the police. This is the 129th mass shooting incident in the US in just the first 3 months of this year. Israel's government decides to pause the controversial judicial reforms bill after mass protests brought the country to a standstill, but protesters vow to remain on the streets until the government withdraws the reforms.
If there was something where I could eliminate the money lender, I'd do that.
Former HDFC Bank CEO Aditya Puri says he's open to returning to active corporate life. Puri is ready for a comeback if gets a business that distributes finance in rural India where the money lender can be eliminated. That's an exclusive. And UPI transactions will attract an interchange fee from April 1st. How will it impact companies and consumers? A detailed explainer is coming up. Well, let's begin with the day's market action. The large street traded in the range ahead of expiry. Nifty and Sensex ended the day mildly lower. However, Nifty managed to hold on to 16,900. BSE firms, meanwhile, raised a market capitalization of 1.5 lakh crore rupees just today. Adani Group stocks and auto stocks led the fall, while financials lent some support. In the crude market, oil prices softened after rallying in the previous session. However, prices remained in the green. Markets were focused on developments in the global banking financial crisis and indications of strengthening demand in China. Meanwhile, the Union government is considering amending the law to avoid attachment of Delhi Metro properties after a warning from the Delhi High Court earlier this month. On the 17th of March, the Delhi High Court had directed Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, or DMRC, to pay Reliance Infra a sum of 4,700 crore rupees as a part of an arbitral award within a month's time. The court had warned that failure to pay may lead to DMRC or Delhi Metro funds being attached as well. Now, the amendment that has been proposed by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development essentially is to a law that prohibits, or that would proposes to bar any attachment of DMRC assets. Now, existing situation currently, the way it stands, is that the Delhi High Court can go ahead and attach, subject to a sanction or a nod by the centre, or the High Court can go ahead and attach the funds of Delhi Metro without any nod from the centre. That is a position that is being sought to be changed. The centre is saying that this entire situation needs to be protected, needs to be defended, and therefore the amendment that has been proposed, the rationale that has been given is that any attachment of assets of Delhi Metro will mean that Delhi Metro grinds to a halt. This will, as per the centre, not just cause inconvenience to lakhs and lakhs of people and commuters within the national capital, but may also lead to a law and order situation. Further, the centre goes on to say that it's a custodian of public good and therefore it cannot permit such a quote-unquote lethal situation right here in the national capital in New Delhi. So towards that end, this amendment has been proposed. The status, as we understand as of right now, this is currently pending consideration before the Ministry of Finance, Roads, Railways as well as Law, and after a considered opinion, it's only after that that the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development will take a call on how to proceed with this. But clearly, the Delhi High Court warning there that it may go ahead and attach Delhi Metro assets on failure to pay that amount of money has inspired some concern. This hearing, we understand, will resume once again tomorrow before the Delhi High Court. Will, of course, continue to get those details from the court action. But let's move ahead now. The ban on wheat exports. We understand that it is likely to continue. That's the word coming in from Food Corporation's chairman, Ashok Meena, who says that the ban will continue until the government believes that there is enough food security. He also added that the increased production will ensure ample supply in the domestic market. Employees Provident Fund Organisation, India's premier retirement fund body, has increased interest rates marginally to 8.15%. The earlier rate was 8.1%. That was the lowest interest rate offered to subscribers in 4 decades. But when compared to other saving instruments, EPFO continues to remain the highest payer. And the government is likely to introduce an Aadhaar-based KYC procedure for small savings scheme from the 1st of April. A government official has told CNBC-TV18 that the centre is aiming to mirror the Jan Dhan KYC norms for small savings schemes. The official also said that a nominational option will be provided under these new rules, while quoting of the PAN number in remote areas will no longer be mandatory. The Income Tax Department has extended the deadline for linking PAN and Aadhaar from 31st of March to 30th of June. The department said that the PAN of taxpayers who fail to link it with Aadhaar will become inoperative from the 1st of July. Till date, more than 51 crore PANs have already been linked with Aadhaar. And, well, attention all mutual fund investors. The last date to specify nominee details has been extended from 31st of March to 30th of September, failing which their folios will be frozen and they won't be able to redeem their investments. Earlier today, the SEBI also extended the deadline for filing nominations to demat accounts till September 30th. And, well, the insurance regulator has removed segmental limits on commissions for life, general and health insurance agents. Under these new regulations, insurance companies will have the flexibility to pay commissions as per their board-approved policies. However, they will have to ensure that they do not breach the overall expenses of management ceiling that they adhere to. Yash Jain now joins us with more details. Yash, tell us more about these new regulations and its likely impact on these insurance companies.
Well, it's certainly a big positive for insurance companies across segments, be it life, general or standalone health insurance. Also a big positive for web aggregators like Policy Bazaar. The government, along with the insurance regulatory body IRDAI, has notified commission as well as expenses of management regulation. Now, just to set some context around these two concepts, commission is nothing but the payment made by insurance companies to various distributors for the distribution and sale of insurance policies. And expenses of management is a sum total of that commission along with other operating expenses of the insurance company, excluding commission. the insurance regulatory body has said that they've decided to remove the segmental limits for the commissions paid by insurance companies to the various distributors. For example, let's say general insurance companies, they have different segmental limits under segments like motor insurance, health insurance, accident insurance. That is the limit of the commission which they can pay to their distributors. Now, those segmental limits have been removed, and there will be a headline limit on the expenses of management itself. The commission limit at any point will have to remain under that expenses of management limit. Now, just to explain this better, let's say a company collects a premium of 100 rupees. The expenses of management limit, for example, has been set at 30%, which means the total expenses, including the operating expenses and commission, will have to remain under 30 rupees. Now, it's up to the insurance company to decide how much out of that 30 rupees they want to spend towards commission and how much they want to keep for other operating expenses other than commission. Importantly, the figure on expenses of management has been decided. 30% will be the expenses of management for general insurance companies, 35% will be the expenses of management for standalone health insurance companies, and these two rates will be effective April 1st.
Right, Yash, thanks a lot for that update. Now, the board of Vedanta has announced its fifth interim dividend for FY23 at 20 rupees and 50 paise per share. The company fixed April 7th as the record date for determining eligibility of shareholders. Meanwhile, Vedanta's Ajay Goyal has resigned from his position as acting chief financial officer to pursue other opportunities. Well, over 70 companies have faced the heat for allegedly manufacturing spurious or low-quality medicines. Sources in the Health Ministry tell us that manufacturing licenses of 18 companies have been cancelled. Show-cause notices have been issued to several other companies. Danish Anand now joins us with more details. Danish, tell us, what are you picking up?
Well, in a big move, the central government has taken stern action against pharma companies that are indulged in manufacturing of fake or substandard medicines. According to Health Ministry sources, the Drug Controller General of India inspected 76 companies across 20 states, and licenses of 18 firms have been cancelled till now, and they have also been ordered to stop manufacturing. The DCGI has also cancelled product permission of 3 companies, and the drug regulator has sent show-cause notice to 26 firms, and in total, 203 companies are under drug controllers' radar. According to sources, the surprise check will continue for the times to come.
Right, Danish, thanks a lot for that update coming in. That's, of course, Danish tracking all the latest updates coming in with respect to spurious medicines that were allegedly manufactured here. Let's move ahead now. Time for a short break. With that coming up, UPI transactions will attract an interchange fee from April 1st. How does it impact you? How does it impact companies? A detailed explainer on the other side. Welcome back. Well, here's more action from the pharma space. A parliamentary panel is appalled by the lack of urgency shown by Union Health Ministry over regulating online pharmacies. The committee, which is headed by Congress leader Abhishek Manu Singhvi, has urged the Health Ministry to notify the draft e-pharmacy rules without any delay. Dhananjay Khatri and Arundhati Ramanan report on the committee's proposals and how it could impact India's online pharma landscape.
The lack of regulations to govern online pharmacies has upset a panel of lawmakers who have made recommendations to the government. A parliamentary panel headed by Congress leader Abhishek Manu Singhvi did not mince its words. It said, and I quote, "The committee is appalled to observe that the draft e-pharmacy rules have not been finalized till date." The panel expressed concerns at the possible misuse of such platforms for distribution of illegal, outdated or counterfeit medications in the absence of regulations. The committee called for comprehensive guidelines, due diligence measures, mandatory registration, and assigning responsibility on online platforms for the sale of genuine drugs and regulating the sale of controlled drugs. According to the panel, no decisions have been taken on the recommendations made by the group of ministers. The Health Ministry did cite a Gazette notification from August 2018, which sought to regulate the operations of online pharmacies. These developments came at a time when there are reports that government could ban the sale of medicines online, but while calling for stricter regulations, the parliamentary panel appreciated and welcomed the rise of e-commerce in the pharmacy and health sector. The online pharmacy market has investments from some of India's largest corporates like Tata, Reliance, among others. The sector has received more than 700 million in funding since 2020. It still remains a nascent industry with less than 3% of all pharma sales done through online platforms. In Mumbai with Dhananjay Khatri, Arundhati Ramanan.
And in global news, Twitter CEO Elon Musk has said that only verified handles will be able to take part in Twitter polls from the 15th of April. In a tweet, Musk wrote, and I quote, "This is the only way for the company to address advanced AI bot swarms taking over. Otherwise, it's a losing battle," end quote. In another major shake-up, Musk said that only verified accounts will appear in Twitter's recommendation feed. Alibaba has announced that it will split its company into 6 business groups and explore fundraising or IPOs for them. Each business group will be managed by its own CEO and its own board of directors. The groups include cloud intelligence, global digital commerce, and digital media and entertainment. Alibaba said that the move will foster market competitiveness. Meanwhile, media conglomerate Disney will begin its first round of layoffs this week. According to reports, Disney is planning to cut 7,000 jobs across divisions. The Metaverse division will be shut down entirely. The layoffs are a part of the company's cost reduction efforts. Just last month, Disney said that it aims to cut over $5 billion in costs just to boost cash flow. And ride-hailing company Lyft has announced that its co-founders Logan Green and John Zimmer are stepping down from their roles as CEO and president respectively. Green will become board chair in April, while Zimmer will become vice chair in the month of June. Former Amazon and Microsoft executive David Fisher will become the new CEO. The U.S. commodity regulator has sued world's largest cryptocurrency exchange Binance and its founder. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission has alleged that the exchange violated compliance rules to attract users. Now, there are other allegations as well against it as well. CNBC's Arjun Karpal joins us now with the latest details.
What we have seen is extremely aggressive action from U.S. regulators in the first few months of this year, post the collapse of FTX. We've seen the SEC issue a Wells notice to Coinbase, and now the CFTC go after Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange at this point as well. Now, remember, Binance was one of the big players behind the collapse of FTX, and post that came out as sort of crypto savior, saying it still remains despite all the turmoil, and CZ, the CEO, Changpeng Zhao, really kind of trying to show himself as a responsible player in the industry. Now the CFTC has come out with a number of allegations alleging how Binance flouted rules around know your customer, around compliance, particularly for U.S. people trading on their international exchange.
And I've said this in my statement yesterday, not having a headquarters, not having a location is not going to prevent the CFTC from coming after you. And in this particular case, as I said before, there was a clear evasion. And when we looked at the entities, it is a common enterprise, dozens and dozens of entities scattered across the globe with control persons up to Mr. Zhao. And when you have that situation where you have a control person of a common enterprise, I think there's clear potential liability.
So the impact on crypto here is going to be really down to, one, how many U.S. investors are trading on Binance's international exchange. If those players are taken out of the market, what impact will that have on liquidity and where they're parking their money? And secondly, I think if these actions continue to ramp up, it could put a lot of retail investors, particularly off the crypto space, given what they've seen so far.
Well, 3 elementary school children and 3 school staff were shot dead in yet another shooting incident in the United States. The incident took place at Nashville's Covenant School. The 28-year-old shooter, believed to be an ex-student, was shot dead by the police. This is the 129th mass shooting incident in the U.S. in the first 3 months of this year itself. And Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has postponed passage of the controversial judicial overhaul reforms until the next parliamentary session in the country in the month of May. This after the country's biggest trade union declared a general strike yesterday, but protesters have vowed to remain on the streets until the controversial reforms are withdrawn. And back home, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has agreed to vacate his official bungalow after being disqualified as a member of parliament last week. He was given a notice by the House committee yesterday to vacate the bungalow within 30 days. In a letter addressed to the Lok Sabha Secretariat, Gandhi said that he would abide by the details without prejudice to his rights. Well, meanwhile, former HDFC Bank boss Aditya Puri has told CNBC-TV18 that he's open to returning to active corporate life. He spoke to Lata Venkatesh on the launch of the book Aditya Nama, authored by his wife Anita Smiley Puri. When asked about a potential comeback, Aditya Puri said that he will return to finance if he can get a business model that eliminates the money lender.
All right. And when do we see you actively jump into some company? You said that, you know, it may be in pharma, it may be in medical,
may be in pharma,
healthcare.
it could be. If there was something where I could eliminate the money lender, I'd do that.
Okay, then that is finance and pharma.
And pharma, and because you see, you must understand, Lata, I think Prime Minister Modi has been saying this for quite some time. 60% of India still lives in semi-urban and rural India. They've taken roads, electricity, digital, all of it there. And now we have the opportunity to be able to take finance and thereby take them out of the money lending business. I think that is something that must be done. And if you give them finance, I think it'll create another India.
Well, UPI transactions will now attract an interchange fee, and that's coming up from April 1st. How will it impact the companies and how will it impact you? Well, Ritu Singh is joining us now with an explainer. Ritu, take it away.
Well, NPCI has introduced PPI charges for merchant transactions of more than 2,000 rupees done via UPI. But to be sure, it does not impact customers. So you and I still don't have to pay any fees for using UPI. Now, there are two charges primarily which have been introduced. First, merchants or merchant acquirers will now have to pay an interchange rate of 1.1% for UPI transactions of more than 2,000 rupees to the PPI wallet companies like Paytm, Amazon Pay, etc. Now, the interchange is nothing but the fee which is levied to cover the cost of accepting and processing transactions. So, for example, if I use my Paytm wallet to, say, buy a phone from a retail outlet, the merchant acquirer who put the QR code at the store or at the POS terminal will now have to pay 1.1% of the transaction value as fees to Paytm, whose wallet I'm using to pay. Now, so far, players who are providing UPI payments were hardly earning any fees on these transactions. So this is a welcome move for the industry. And Paytm, which has the largest market share of PPI wallets by far, is the biggest beneficiary. Now, these interchange rates vary across various categories like fuel, education, other utility payments, etc. Now, the second charge is a wallet loading charge. Now, here, NPCI has said that the PPI issuer will have to pay 15 basis points as wallet loading service charge to the account holder's bank for loading anything more than 2,000 rupees onto the wallet. So again, for example, if I have a Paytm wallet and I have an ICICI Bank saving account and I'm trying to load more than 2,000 rupees onto my Paytm wallet, Paytm will have to pay 0.15% of the amount as fees to ICICI Bank. Again, no additional charge to the customer. These charges will be borne by either banks or payment companies or PPI wallet issuers. The other thing is interoperability of wallets, which was announced by RBI earlier, is also going to be significant as there will be universal acceptance. So you can use your Paytm wallet to load your Amazon Pay wallet, your Amazon Pay wallet to load your Ola Financial wallet, and so on. Now, although the share of PPI wallets in overall UPI usage is quite insignificant, this is directionally positive for payment companies, and experts also believe it could be the first step, and we could see interchanges being introduced for other modes of payments as well.
35–40% of the loading of the wallets happen through the UPI. So that's quite a significant number when we are talking about 15 basis points for each load. Now, 55% of these loads are more than 2,000 rupees. So that again becomes very critical when you look at what's the future ahead for the wallet players. Now comes the most interesting part. 80% of the spends are for amounts less than 2,000, on which you cannot charge an interchange. So how the system is going to adjust itself, we need to wait and see.
Well, with that, it's a wrap in this edition of India Business Hour. Thank you so much for watching. News and updates continue right here on CNBC-TV18.